British pound opens the week lower after bottoming out last week just north of 124. Saw a modest uptick back close to up above 125. Now Monday opens up back below 125. So not a huge move higher, but off those uber lows that we saw last week. Clearly the headline event this week will be the central bank meetings. I say meetings plural. Yes, one from the Central Bank of England, but also getting one from the Federal Reserve. And the two will be kind of one day after another. The Fed comes out on Wednesday. They are anticipated to be much more aggressive, raising rates 50 basis points and then talking about quantitative tightening, whereas the Bank of England will look to raise rates 25 basis points and will likely give a little bit more of a dovish tone given the uncertainty of their economy right now, which seems to be holding back the Bank of England from maybe jumping in with both feet and raising rates, much like the Federal Reserve is expected to do. So at this point, we've seen a modest pullback since the latter part of April, about the pound down about 4% against the dollar, as the dollar sits on 20-year highs ahead of what is likely to be a much more aggressive Federal Reserve policy shift as opposed to the Bank of England, one of the reasons why we're seeing the pound move lower. Now, what does this all mean for volatility? Well, if you check out that CVOL index over at cmegroup.com, you'll notice the volatility is moving higher. When you're talking about central bank meetings and raising rates or maybe dovish messaging, you have a lot of uncertainty, all that uncertainty pushing volatility higher, not only in the pound, but across most asset classes that we're seeing here between rates, equities, and FX. We are seeing volatility move higher across all asset classes, again, ahead of all these central bank meetings and more economic data that will come out. Lastly, let's talk about the positioning. What are the speculators doing? Well, they are adding to their short positions, something they've been doing for quite a while. So the pound continues to move lower. Speculators continue to take bets that the pound will move lower by getting short and adding to those shorts. It'll be interesting to see what happens after the Bank of England meeting on Thursday, the messaging they put out, and possibly any forward guidance. It'll be interesting to see if those speculators continue to add to those shorts then, or do they look to cover? So keep an eye on those CFTC reports. So opening up the week, the pound continues to move lower after a modest uptick from last week's lows ahead of this week's central bank meeting.